Horns up and welcome to a brand new episode of Headbangers Kitchen. My name is Sahil, I'm a death metal musician. And I'm also the author of the recipe book called Keto Life. So before we get into today's video, I just want to ask you, for how long have you been a subscriber of Headbangers Kitchen? Well, if you've been following me for some time, you would remember that earlier on I used to do vlog style videos on this channel as well. I would do day of eating vlogs, I would do shopping vlogs, I would even try out different diets like the carnivore diet and the vegan diet. And if you enjoyed that content that I used to make, I now have a second YouTube channel called Headbanger Eats, where I do all things related to food that are not the keto diet. So if you're interested in that kind of content, please click here on the I button and check out my second channel. Now on to today's video. I've got a 5-ingredient keto meal plan for you that includes breakfast, lunch and dinner. And as I always say, make sure you read the blog post on headbangerskitchen.com for all the information you need about starting the keto diet and also the written recipes. Now, I've already done a keto for beginners series and you can click here on the I button to watch that and get yourself familiar with the keto diet. But anyway, enough jibber jabber, let's get started. And I'd like to give a huge shout out to Cynthia Bennett, Christy, Melissa, Diane Kunz, Tina Louise, Lynn and Diane Swift. Thank you all for supporting Headbangers Kitchen. And if you've got a copy of my book or you own some Headbangers Kitchen merchandise, make sure to send me your picture to headbangerskitchen@gmail.com. Thank you all once again. Okay, so let's get to the meal plan now. For breakfast, you're going to be having my version of a shakshuka, which is an egg that's cooked in a rich tomato sauce. This is my own keto version. It's not an authentic version by any means, but yeah, keto shakshuka for breakfast. For this recipe, you are going to need an egg, marinara sauce, chili flakes, feta cheese and parsley. The first thing I'm going to do is get this cute little frying pan on the stove and I'm going to heat up some butter. You can use olive oil as well, or even bacon fat or lard or any keto approved cooking fat. Once that butter has melted, I'm going to add in those chili flakes. The idea is to get some of that spice to run through the fat and spread it all over. Once the butter is sizzling, I'm going to add in my marinara sauce and give it all a good mix. Now since this is a store-bought sauce, it doesn't need much cooking, but if you use some kind of tomato puree or fresh tomatoes, then you need to cook it for about 5 minutes. Anyway, now I'm going to make a bit of space in the pan and then I will crack my egg into that. Remember, you want to make sure that the heat is on low. Now you just want to cover it with a lid and cook it for a minute or two, depending on how you like your eggs. And in about 2 minutes, mine is ready and it looks yummy. Now I'm going to season my egg with a bit of salt and a bit of freshly cracked black pepper. And then I will crumble in that feta cheese all over the sauce, all around the pan. Now you can use any cheese you like, but I would recommend a soft cheese for this. Maybe goat's cheese. That would go well. Anyway, now I'm going to cover it for 30 seconds more just so that the cheese warms up and starts to melt. And then, ladies and gentlemen, we are done. Well, not quite. We're going to finish this with that fresh parsley, which I finely chopped off camera, of course. And well, now we are actually done and your keto shakshuka, or well, my version of a shakshuka, is done and ready. The perfect breakfast for one. So that was your breakfast, and for lunch you're going to be having a delicious 5-ingredient keto chicken saag. This is the chicken version of palak paneer. Basically, it's some chicken cooked in a rich and creamy spinach sauce. For this recipe, you are going to need chicken, spinach, heavy cream, ginger garlic paste and garam masala powder. Now you're going to need a lot more spinach than what I just showed you, and I've got a nice big bowl of it ready for this recipe. What I showed you was just for representational purposes only. Now to make this recipe, I'm going to get my wok on the stove and then add in my spinach. I'm also going to add some water and then season this with some salt. After which I will cover it with a lid and let it cook for 1 or 2 minutes. And then open it up and give it all a good mix. And that's it. My spinach is pretty much done and ready for the next step. So I'm going to take it off the heat. Now I will transfer the spinach and any water from the wok into my blender. And if your blender can't blend hot things, then let the spinach cool down first. And then we blend this. If you need to add some extra water, that's completely fine. And then our spinach is ready to go. And you should have a nice and thick spinach puree. Now I'm going to turn the heat on again and get my wok on the stove. And to cook this saag, I'm going to be using some desi ghee, which is basically clarified butter. But once again, you can use any keto approved cooking fat, but I prefer ghee for Indian recipes. Once the wok is nice and hot, in goes my chicken and I will season it with some salt. And then, ladies and gentlemen, give it all a good mix. You just want to saute the chicken and get the cooking process started. Then I add in the ginger and garlic paste and give everything a good mix. And now we just want to fry out the rawness of the ginger and the garlic and get all those delicious flavors into the chicken. And now just let that chicken cook and get some color. And beware of ginger garlic splatter. Since there is water content in that, sometimes it tends to explode and splatter. So be careful. Worry not though. Anyway, once that chicken has some nice color on it, it's time to add in our saag puree. And just look at that dark green color. Wow! It's time now to give it a good mix. So let the chicken and the saag get to know each other. Bathe that chicken in the delicious spinach puree. And then you want to put a lid on it and let it cook till the chicken is fully cooked through. After about roughly 6 to 8 minutes or maybe 10 depending on how big your chicken is, the chicken should be cooked and ready. Now it's time to add in our garam masala powder and our heavy cream. This is going to add some punch in terms of flavor and some richness as well. And now give it all one final good mix. And just look at that gravy. How rich and thick and delicious does that look? Oh yeah! Anyway, wipe that drool from your chin because our saag chicken is ready. And there's nothing left to do except to serve it up in a bowl and make it look pretty for the photos. And for that, I'm going to drizzle on some of that heavy cream, which makes it look even more appealing and delicious. Anyway, that's it folks. Our 5 ingredient saag chicken or palak chicken is ready. And it's a great keto meal. You can serve it with some cauliflower rice, a keto naan, or just eat it with a spoon. Anyway, enjoy. So that was your lunch. And for dinner, you are going to be making and eating my 5 ingredient keto pot stickers or keto dumplings. It doesn't matter what you call them, they are delicious. And we're going to be using cabbage to make the wrappers, so there's no flour involved. For this recipe, you are going to need ground pork, garlic paste, soya sauce, spring onion and cabbage. Now if you can't find garlic paste, you can just use minced or chopped garlic. And if you have succumbed to the will of the keto police and believe that soya sauce is not keto, then you can just use coconut aminos instead. The first thing you want to do is separate the cabbage leaves, and to do that I cut the base of the outermost leaf and then I just pull it till it comes off. I've also been told to boil the cabbage first and then remove the leaves, but I found that this way was much simpler for me. But basically you just want to separate the cabbage leaves so that you can use them to make the wrappers for the pot stickers. Once you're done separating the leaves, you just want to throw them in a pot of boiling water and give them a good dunk. You basically want to cook these till they are nice and tender so that they can be used to wrap the meat. You do not want to boil them into oblivion. Anyway, once you are done cooking them, remove them from the pot and set them aside to cool. Also, if you boil your entire cabbage, don't throw away that water. It is a good cabbage stock. Now to make the filling for the pot stickers, we are going to put our ground pork into a bowl. We're going to season it with salt, but not too much because we're also using soya sauce, which is salty, black pepper powder, the garlic paste, the soya sauce, and then the spring onion, which I have finely chopped. And then give it all a good mix. Now you can make this recipe with ground chicken or ground beef as well. If you are vegetarian, you can probably use paneer or mushrooms. Anyway, once that's done, it's time to make the dumplings. Now I'm going to take my cabbage leaves, and since they are quite big, I'm going to cut them right down the middle into two halves. You want to cut down the spine of the cabbage or the stem, whatever you call it. And I should have used a proper cutting board instead of my photography slate, but anyway, cut that cabbage leaf, and now it's time to fill it. So you want to take a little bit of the filling and put it in the center, and then just wrap it like a nice little parcel. It's pretty simple. Take the meat, put it in the leaf, and wrap that pot sticker. And that's how it's done. Pretty simple, eh? And that's it. Our pot stickers are now ready to be cooked, and they already look very delicious. Now to cook these, I'm going to get my pan on the stove, and I'm going to heat up some olive oil, and then I'm going to take my pot stickers and put them in that frying pan. And you want to have the heat up on a medium. What I'm basically going to do is cover the pot stickers and cook them so that the bottom gets a nice sear and the steam cooks the meat. Anyway, keep checking in on them, cover them and cook them, open the lid, check it for a bit, and then when they're done on one side, you can flip them over, and they should have a nice color on the bottom side. And now you just want to continue to let them cook. You might notice that there are a lot of juices in the pan like mine. That's perfectly fine. We'll pour those over the pot stickers. Those juices are just deliciousness. It's liquid gold, as we call it in the culinary world. Anyway, once your meat is fully cooked, these bad boys are done. So take them off the stove and now serve them in a plate and pour over all those juices from the pan. Don't waste any of that stuff. And finally finish it with the green part of the spring onion that you will chop very finely. And that's it, ladies and gentlemen. Your keto pot stickers or keto dumplings are ready. Enjoy. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is your 5-ingredient keto meal plan. Make sure that you read the blog post on Headbangers Kitchen for all the information you need, as well as the written recipes. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please smash that like button and do subscribe to Headbangers Kitchen for more awesome keto recipes. Until the next episode, ladies and gentlemen, cheers and keep cooking. Hey folks, if you can't get enough of my jibber jabber, click here and watch another one of my videos. Or if you want another keto meal plan, click here. Or if you're interested in the music I make, click here. Or if you want to watch some of my non-keto food content, click here.